Jonesy and Amanda.
Jam Nation.
I once read a fantastic book called Packing for Mars. It was by a woman called Mary Roach. And she looked at the human side of what it takes to get people into space at the very beginnings of space exploration and the research and the tests that were done on the ground before we ever sent men, as they were, it was only men in space then in the 60s, into space. I'll just read the introduction to this book, or this is a review of the book.
Yep.
Space is a world devoid of the things we need to live and thrive. Air, gravity, hot showers, fresh produce, privacy, beer. Space exploration is in some ways an exploration of what it means to be human. How much can a person give up? How much weirdness can they take? What happens when you can't walk for a year? When you can't have sex? When you can't smell flowers? What happens if you vomit in your helmet during a spacewalk? Is it possible for the human body to survive a bailout at 17,000 miles per hour? To answer these questions, space agencies set up all manner of quizzical and startlingly bizarre space simulations.
Wow.
And the book is full of how they went about that. And they're the unsung
Because you just see it on the
heroes.
movies and you just think, they go up there and they dick around and then they come
right.
back.
The research that went into how we get people into space, we'd spent millions of years evolving to live here. And then we look up there and in just a few decades we go, you know what, let's go there. Let's go there. But what did it take to get us there? And this book is full of all the small details. The NASA men and women who used weird toilet facilities, who had strange spinning experiments, who weren't the astronauts. They were just human beings who volunteered for these tests. And here's something, I don't know if this is in the book, but I saw it the other day. A scientist was talking about some of the quirkiness of the toilet stuff that happened in those early studies. And during this run-up to the Apollo missions, engineers had to come up with a clever way to allow these men to urinate in space when you're wearing your basic suits. You can't go to a urinal, let's face it. So they built a device, a bit like a sock that you'd wear, had a little, I guess it's like a little condom, a sock, that had a tube coming out of the end of it that would collect the urine into a bag for you to deal with later. And to make sure there was a leak-proof fit for everybody, NASA decided to produce 3 different sizes: small, medium, and large. They gave the astronauts the choice of which one they wanted. Nearly every single astronaut, as you can imagine, selected the large.
Smalls would have been in surplus, that's for sure.
Almost no one went for the small or the medium. And because of this, once they got into space, there was urine flying all over the place.
Yeah.
We have a big
That's
problem.
where the problem came from.
So back down on Earth, NASA were thinking, how are we going to fix this? What's a way to look at it? And instead of changing the apparatus, they used psychology. So they didn't fiddle with the design or the device in any way. They relabeled them from small, medium, and large to large, gigantic, and humongous. And as it says here, just like that, the problem went away.
No problem at all.
No.
What a great book.
Yeah, well, the book, it's brilliant. It's called Packing for Mars by Mary Roach. And it's just even, the flag that was flown on the Apollo. What was the first one, the Apollo 11?
Yep.
Even that flag, the research it took to attach a flag to the outside.
Because there's no air up there.
There's no air up there. And they had to attach it to the pole so it would look like it was floating in a breeze, which is what's made people think, conspiracy, they weren't there, there's no breeze and blah, blah, blah. That was all designed. Every single moment of that was designed. The maths behind it is inspirational. It really is.
Packing for Mars. One wonders, what about packing for Uranus?
You've overpacked.
I'll take a large.
Humongous for Brendan.